Should every department have their own system? Absolutely not. No. The less systems, the better. I would say we need to take that with a grain of salt of what's best for our organization. But the less systems we have pulling and manipulating data, the less discrepancies we have, right? Why is system A reporting that Q4 revenue was 4 million and system B says it was 2 million? Obviously, that's a huge problem. My salespeople are very picky. I love and hate it. I mean, salespeople and systems are one of the hardest things. I mean, not all of them. I would prefer to use Salesforce. I know that system very well. Are you in like a HubSpot or a homegrown one? Sometimes I think it's designed to not work. Salesforce is absolutely designed to not work. I would just say in certain situations, these gated systems, Salesforce, but HubSpot is a great example of this, of like, it's actually designed not to work so that it could show you how you need to get to the next level of license. So absolutely, especially over complex customized solutions. Then you have a bunch of like an army of Salesforce consultants that you can't fire because you don't know how they built that integration. This is why solution architecture, system architecture should be an internal to the organization. Can you hire someone to come help you set that up? Because you're like, I don't know how to do this. Absolutely, right? Do that, right? But make sure they're not trying to sell you like, oh, I can get you, an interoperability system that's going to solve all your problems. That's how Snowflake and Palantir like bust onto the marketplace. And now people are like, do those actually work? I mean, they work if you have it set up to work, but you might as well, make your own system. Let's see. At that point. Thank you. As the business becomes more customized, I appreciate that you are using the European English spelling. I see you. Is there a solution? All add-ons, all the add-ons and maintaining the tech depth? Like, so do you mean, is there like an interoperability solution for that? Is that what you mean? Hi, thanks for your videos. Is there any attention point due to the migration from ECC to S4HANA? So we have a lot of videos on ECC to S4HANA. I think when you're moving from an ECC architecture to S4HANA, it's actually a little bit easier when it comes to solution architecture because you have that one enterprise system. The thing I will say about that is that you need to understand that S4HANA was developed in the cloud, right? Its point is getting you all of your system architecture on SAP solutions, which is what RISE does, right? So how do you decide which systems should pass data to each other? So that's where that solution mapping comes in. We need to make sure that we understand where the data goes and how it goes there. And that's the data layer, which makes sense to talk about the different layers of architecture. So we have 5 typically that we look at. And so we have got the business layer, like what actually needs to happen. And a lot of times this is how we stop businesses from going straight to the solution. What problems do we have? Where's the value created? Why do we need the system? And then the next layer to that is really the process layer. Like, how do these all go together? A lot of times they don't want to talk about where handoffs break or all of these different things because it's painful, right? Of course, like we want to be able to get that understanding of how we can make things better, but we can only do that if we know where we started. And then we have the data layer. So what is the single source of truth, right? And who owns the data, right? Where are the data owners, the data stewards, and do we have a big data cleanup to do? If we do, it's fine. Everybody relax, but we've got a plan for when that cleanup is over. Who's going to ensure that you that you have that master data management around that? And then what if the data breaks? Where do we go? Where does it go wrong? How do we map that? We certainly can't do that without understanding the mapping. And then typically after that, we have the application layer where we're looking at things like ERP, MES, warehouse management systems, CRMs, PLMs, all of those different systems. And then lastly, we have the integration layer, right? So how do they talk to each other? Do you have middleware in there, right? Like, are they custom integrations? Do you have some sort of APIs? What do you got going on there?